Hi friends, how are you all? So now let us start our discussion in the second main topic of macroeconomics. Okay, here we will be studying about income determination. And as usual in macroeconomics, whenever we say income, it is national income. Earlier we studied national income measurement. However, measurement is different from income. Okay, I'll tell you how. See, in national income measurement, we know that, what do we know? We know the level of production, we know the level of expenditure, and we know the level of everything. Okay, right. So we found out how much is the current level of national income. But here we will be studying the phenomenon of income determination, which is akin, or it is almost same as the thing of price determination, which we studied in microeconomics. Here we will be studying what should be the level of national income that will make the economy, not the market, the economy to be in equilibrium. Okay. So this is the basic thing. It is similar to what we studied in microeconomics. We generally say microeconomics as price theory, and we say macroeconomics as theory of income and employment. Why? Because in micro, everything, demand, supply, everything is related to the price of the commodity, right? Here we are relating demand, supply, everything to the national income. Okay, so this is why it is called theory of income and employment. Okay, so here we will be studying the components of income determination. This is the first lecture in income determination. First of all, how do we determine income? Similar to micro, here also there are two types, demand and supply. Okay, demand should be equal to supply for the economy to be in equilibrium. Okay, so how do we get equilibrium level of national income? See, in microeconomics, we studied demand for a commodity, supply of a commodity. Here there is nothing like commodity in market, nothing. Here it's only the whole economy. So first we will be studying aggregate demand, or AD. Aggregate demand. It is not plain demand, it is aggregate demand. Okay, what is this aggregate demand? Aggregate demand, we will say, is the final demand for all final goods and services which are produced in the economy. Demand or sum of demand, aggregate sum demand for all final goods and services produced in the economy. Okay, it is the aggregate demand for all final goods and services produced in the economy. Where does this demand come from? Of course, the sectors of the economy, households, government. However, there are different types of demand. Okay. So, now, there is another way also to define aggregate demand, which is the aggregate of expenditure incurred, of expenditures. Okay, this reminds you of something, right? We have studied this thing like expenditure or total expenditure or something, right? National income measurement, expenditure method. What did we study there? Aggregate of expenditure will be equal to private final consumption expenditure plus government final consumption expenditure plus gross domestic capital formation plus net exports, right? Here also that's the same thing. However, aggregate demand is equal to consumption, private final consumption expenditure plus investment, gross domestic capital formation plus G, government final consumption expenditure plus X minus M. Net exports, it's almost the same thing, right? However, there are a few things. This C, okay, consumption. We will study each of the components of AD in detail. Only then you will be understanding this even more better. Okay, so C, consumption. See, it is the consumption expenditure incurred by all households. Only households. Firms do not undertake consumption expenditure. Though government does undertake consumption expenditure in order to provide welfare or social security or maintain law and order. However, here consumption we take only the consumption done by households. What is the property of this consumption? It will be directly related to national income. Right. So if you are drawing the graph X, O and Y, income and consumption. See, there is one thing about this consumption. When there is zero level of national income, do you think people will not consume anything? They will say, I don't want food, I don't want shelter, I don't want electricity, I don't want to live. Nobody will tell like that. Okay. So what will happen? The people will take money from whatever they have saved previously. They are undertaking that there are already savings. So whatever be the national income, so consumption will never be zero or less than zero. The graph of the consumption will go like this. Okay, see, graph of consumption curve will be like this. The slope will be constant. Okay, so according here, this is, we denote this by C bar. This C bar is called autonomous consumption. Consumption at zero income. This is called autonomous consumption. This consumption will be there whatever be the level of national income. Even when there is no national income at all also, this consumption will be there. So, after this, the increasing rate is same. The slope is constant. This slope is called the marginal propensity to consume. Propensity or tendency or means intention. We can call it in any manner. Propensity of consumption, marginal propensity to consume means what portion of the additional income are people consuming. See, this is, the slope is, let's say 2 point, this is delta C by delta I, right. Delta C by delta Y, or we can't write I, delta C by delta Y. This is called marginal propensity to consume. What portion of the additional income are the people consuming? Besides this, we can also define one more measure of related to consumption. See here, we took only the addition. Take this point, the total consumption can be taken as a ratio of total income, right? Such ratio will be called as average propensity to consume. This will be equal to C by Y, not delta, only C by Y. These two things, they have a property. Marginal propensity to consume will be constant. And definitely people cannot consume more than what they earn. Additional income to additional consumption will never be greater than 1. So it ranges between 0 less than or equal to MPC less than or equal to 1, though it will never be 1. People will, most probably they won't consume whatever additional they earn, but generally, theoretically speaking, 0 less than or equal to MPC less than or equal to 1. So these are the two properties of MPC. What about APC? APC will never be 0 or lesser. Whatever be the, I told you, whatever be the income, there will be some consumption. Therefore, this APC will never be 0 or less than 0. However, there is one thing. Take this point. If we measure the consumption, it will be greater than income because there is autonomous consumption. Autonomous consumption plus additional consumption will give the total consumption, right? So when there is autonomous consumption even at 0 level of income, it is increasingly probable that up to some point APC can be greater than 1 than 1. Okay, these are the two properties of APC. Okay, this is all we have about consumption. Consumption expenditure will be the amount of expenditure which is incurred on consumption. Okay. Then there is one concept of consumption function. Okay, function will be C is equal to C bar. Okay, C bar plus B into Y. Okay, C bar plus BY. This B will be the marginal propensity to consume. Whatever be the income into marginal propensity to consume plus autonomous consumption will give total consumption. Okay. So this is the consumption function. Next we have investment. See, private investment is done with the motive to earn profit, right? What is investment? Investment is the addition made to production capacity or the capital stock of a country during a given period, right? Gross domestic capital formation. So, this investment can be of two types. Okay, whenever investment is related to income, it is called induced investment. Induced investment proportional to national income. However, there can be some other form of income. Regardless of the national income, this investment will be there. Say for instance, government investment. Government investment, they will do investment whatever be the level of national income, right? So, such investment which is not at all related to national income is autonomous investment, not related to national income. NY. So this is about investment. However, for purpose of our study, we assume that all investment will be autonomous and no induced investment is there. So how will be the investment curve? It will be a straight line parallel to the x-axis because it is not at all related to national income. So, C is upward sloping, I is straight. Okay. Now, the third item is government expenditure. Okay. Though I am writing it here, it is not of much importance to you. Government expenditure. This is the expenditure which is done by the government in order to maintain welfare and order, social order. So all expenditure made by government like construction of roads, social security benefits, everything will come under government investment. Okay, though it is not, you just need to study what is this. And also we have export minus imports, X minus M, net exports. What is net export? Whatever the goods are exported from this country to foreign country minus whatever goods are imported by our country. That is, when we are considering the perspective of demand, the demand for our goods by foreigners, by the rest of the world, minus demand for their goods, the foreign goods which we create, our demand for foreign goods. That is, foreigners' demand for our goods minus our demand for foreigners' goods. That is export minus import. So, for simplicity, the father of macroeconomics, which is none other than John Maynard Keynes, He assumed that since in closed economy there will be only two sectors, we are considering only households and firms. So according to Keynes, AD is equal to C plus I. Only C and I will be there, households and firms. So how will be AD curve? Consumption curve is like this, investment curve is like this. Definitely it will be addition of both and it will be a parallel to consumption curve. AD curve will be parallel to consumption curve. Okay, this is about aggregate demand. Now, there is one more thing called aggregate supply. What is aggregate supply? The total or aggregate amount of goods and services which are supplied in the economy during a given period of time. Which are supplied in the economy during a given of time. This is related to the production method which we studied in national income measurement. So, there is something related to what will be the amount of supply or production related to national income. Definitely, only due to production income is generated and only due to income expenditure is taking place. So definitely production will be equal to income, right? We studied in the circular flow of income. What? Production phase, income phase, expenditure phase. Both all will be equal if there are no injections and leakages. Okay. Therefore, total production will be equal to national income always. Whatever be the level of national income, that will be the level of production. Therefore, the AS curve will be a 45-degree line. AS curve will be a 45-degree line originating from the origin. At zero level of national income, there will be no production. Okay. So this is about AS. Take 1 minute. This is about AS. Okay. AS will always be equal to national income. AS will always be equal to national income. NY. So what can people do with the income they earn? Now we know the supply is equal to income. AS is equal to the income which is earned by the people. What can the people do with what will they earn? Either they can consume the goods, consumption expenditure can be done, or they can save. They can save this money for future use. So AF will be equal to C plus S or C plus savings. Now we'll have to take the savings curve also along with consumption. There are a few things. Okay. So we studied before that when there is zero level of income, people draw money from whatever savings they have done previously and they will use it for consumption. So initially there will be this savings minus C bar. C bar is the level of consumption at zero level of income. So definitely that C bar should be drawn from savings. So there will be this savings at zero level of income. So at zero level of income there will be this savings. Now even in additional income, when delta Y take place, the delta C, some delta C will also take place. Plus whatever addition is there, whatever is remaining, that will have to be saved. So what will be savings? Means delta C by delta Y. Means, okay, delta Y is equal to delta C plus delta S. Whatever additional income is taking place, some of it will be consumed and some of it will be saved. Now, when we are dividing the whole by delta Y, we are finding an equality, okay. What will happen? 1 is equal to delta C by delta Y. We know this, right? Marginal propensity to consume is equal to MPC plus delta S by delta Y. Whatever portion of additional income is saved is delta S by delta Y. That portion is called as MPS. Therefore, MPC plus MPS will always be equal to 1. Similarly, when we take AS is equal to C plus S or Y is equal to C plus S, we get APC plus APS. Average propensity to save is equal to 1. What will be average propensity to save? It will naturally be total savings divided by total income. Here, the properties of MPS are it will always be 0 less than or equal to MPS less than or equal to 1. And also it will never be negative. Okay. Now, what about APS? When there is negative savings, when there is this savings in the economy, definitely APS can be less than 0. So, APS can be less than 0. APS can less than 0. Okay, can be less than 0. However, it will never be greater than 1. Savings will never be more than income. Consumption can be more than national income, but savings will never be more than national income. So, this is about savings. Now, let's take something. Let's draw the consumption curve here. Consumption curve we are drawing here. And we are drawing the 45-degree line of national income, NYC. So how do we get the savings curve? At 0 level of income, savings is minus C bar. However, when consumption is equal to national income, AS is equal to C plus Y, C plus savings. AS is equal to C means savings will be equal to 0. Okay. At this point, savings will be equal to 0. So, when we join these 2 points and extend, we get the savings curve. This is how we derive the savings curve from consumption curve. But at 0 level, savings will be equal to minus autonomous consumption, and at the level where saving means consumption is equal to national income, savings will be equal to 0. And when we join this and extend, we get the savings curve of the economy. Okay, this is about savings and consumption curve. The reverse also can be done. When savings curve is given, see the means consumption at 0 level will be equal to minus, this will be equal to minus C bar and consumption will be equal to C bar. And when savings is equal to 0, consumption will be equal to national income. This is how we derive the consumption curve from the savings curve. Okay. So this is all about APC, APS and other things. So I think you will all be a bit hard. So we'll continue with this lecture and then we'll continue this topic in the next lecture. In AS also we saw consumption and also savings. Okay, this is about AD and AS, demand and supply. There is nothing else. Okay, this is what we have in income determination. Therefore, there is much more to deal with. We will deal that in the next topic, next lecture. So first we saw AD or aggregate demand, which is consumption plus investment plus government expenditure plus export minus imports. Okay, similar to what we studied in national income. Then we studied the second component of national means income determination, that is the aggregate supply, which is equal to consumption plus savings. So this is all with this lecture. I hope you got an idea. The next lecture we will cover, or we will come to the main topic of income determination. So till then, stay safe. Thank you.